Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today, we're going to be doing the Yosenju deck profile. If you guys would like to see a game of me playing this deck, there's definitely, the link is in the description, and it'll show me playing Yosenjus. You know, just messing around with the deck before I come up with this build. I really hope you guys enjoyed. There were a lot of great cards that I could have played in here, and I decided against it just because of, hey, I like the way that this one runs. So let's get down to it. We're going to be running 3 copy of Kama. I feel like that's standard. 3 copy of 2. They're all Kama. I apologize. So 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. 2 of the Yosenju Tusek, which comes in the Secrets of Eternity, which is kind of a sad face because, you know, everything else is secret, you know, from the set, and then you get the commons and you're just like, whatever. Also, the last Yosenju, a lot of people don't play it. Some people play 1, some people play 2. I play 1. I'm running L. L is really good. I can't even stress the fact that L is good. You activate in your Pendulum Zone. It prevents any of your Yosenjus from being destroyed once. Also, when it's summoned, it switches to defensive. Your opponent can't target it. You know, good for cards against like Deep Prison and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's a really solid card as a one-of. And on top of that, it's searchable. So it's like, it's whatever. 1 copy of Brotherhood of the Firefist Bear. I read a lot of Tikis, and I actually won 1 Gyoko as attack. I was running 2, but, you know, obviously clog. But Bear really gets there, you know, pitching one of your fire formations to destroy a card on the field. If you're going against Necros or, you know, even Clifford, it's still a pretty decent card. And then Thunder King Ryo, you open this card with the back row. I mean, you practically win against Clifford and Necros, so I don't see why anybody else is playing it. I feel like Thunder King Ryo is like a really solid card. As for spells, 3 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon, 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki. That's very standard. 2 copy of Yosen Training Drone. I really like this card, and then I don't like this card. The theory of me not playing it, which, you know, if you guys didn't want to play it, you can take it out for traps, you can take it out for creature swap. I really don't care. But the reason why I wouldn't play it is because I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 monsters. By the time you're able to get the third, you know, its second effect, when you summon 3 Yosenju monsters, you get the search. More often than not, you probably already summoned at least, you know, 2 or 3 of your Yosenju monsters, and it's kind of like lackluster. But then on top of that, I mean, it is a really good card. I wish it said Yosenju instead of Yosen, so you can use the trap card more effectively. And ultimately, I guess it's like a bad gateway to 6 Samurai. It's not that bad. It's just not as good as Gateway, but, you know, it's like I said, it's still a pretty decent card nonetheless. 2 copies of Duality. I was running 3, but then I noticed that I, like, you know, have multiple copies of Duality in my hand. Sometimes I would need to special summon, and the other times they would just clog, so I was just like, forget it, we're just gonna run 2. 2 copies of Dark Hole. I've noticed that this deck really just wants to slam monsters on the board and just push for big damages. That and Shadows aren't a thing anymore, so the only bad, you know, the only reason why Dark Hole would be bad is against Brie, which is still I get to wipe their board and then slam for a whole bunch of damage. So Dark Hole isn't that bad. I decided to run 2 because it's really good against, like I said, Clifford and Necros. Fire Formation Gyoko. A personal attack, I've always loved Gyoko or a Tensu paired along with the Fire Formations, Tenkis, and, you know, a copy of Bear Gorilla or whatever in the deck. And Gyoko is just basically a 4th Mystical Space Typhoon. It's really good against BA because if you hit one of their trap cards, they can't use it and they can't special summon their BA monsters because it's just going to stay there. I just feel like it's that good. Obviously, the Raigeki, I wouldn't be running Raigeki without Dark Holes. Divine Wind of Mist Valley is extraordinary in this deck. Basically, when you summon a Yosen monster and you bounce it back to your hand, Divine Wind of Mist Valley will replace it with a Yosen monster to your side of the field that won't bounce to the hand. It's pretty good for keeping, you know, your technique live, or, you know, just keeping always a monster on the board so you don't wind up being screwed by an opponent that wants to drop, you know, loads of cards on the field. And it also, if you open 1 Yosen monster, Divine Mist Valley, you're fine because, you know, now you have 2 monsters to play around with. And then the last card is Book of Moon, one of the best cards in the game. As for traps, 3 copies of Vanity of Emptiness. When turned on, you don't need to special summon, so I felt that it was really obvious. 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. I don't like monster effect negations. I mean, ultimately, you could drop a Fiendish Chain for a 3rd copy of Mirror Force because I am running 2. Very underrated in this format. I feel like Mirror Force is good. Keep in mind, the only real bad matchup that Mirror Force has is against, you know, BA. And I mean, if that was really a problem at local level and I've seen a lot of BA, I'd probably pick a random spell card and also the Yosen secret move for macro and DeFi, and then I'll just start destroying their stuff and keep macro and DeFi on the field. So yeah, it'll pretty much screw them over anyways. The one copy of secret technique or secret move, I think it's a pretty decent card, especially when you can search out the L, and also you can keep Divine Wind, Miss Valley. I have 2 ways to keep secret Yosen monsters on the board or Yosen cards on the board to use it. So I mean, it's not really horrible. And then like, I mean, more often than not, when I do search it out, I'm not using it offensively. I'm not like, just setting in and waiting for my opponent, waiting for my next turn to summon Yosen monsters to respond. Normally, when I do search it, I do have some type of Yosenju card already on the field. I really wish Yosen Training Ground said Yosenju, because then I'd probably be running 3 secret moves and 3 Training Ground. But hey, it is what it is. And then the last card is Torrential Tribute. Really good card, since you probably won't have monsters on the side of the field more often than not. This is basically my Yosenju deck profile. A couple of changes that I probably would make. Maybe I would drop a couple of maybe either spells or monsters for more traps. That's really the only complaint that I have. Creature Swap is a really, really good card in this deck, but if you play against certain decks, it's just really bad. But ultimately, I feel it's amazing against BA. Especially if you get a Divine Wind Misvalued monster, you just Creature Swap them, give them a Yosen monster, take their Dante or whatever. They can't Fire Lake you or and all that other stuff, and you're just straight. So I think that's really good. Other than that, not really much else I would change, but the extra deck. I mean the main board, I pretty much like it. I mean, I'm not really indecisive about certain other cards other than the ones that I stated. Next is to the extra deck, which, to be honest with you guys, it's really just 15 cards that I just threw together. You're really not gonna use most of them. You're rarely gonna use all of them. Chidori, Ragnazero, Castell. My apologies. Excited, Heartland Draco, Karen Gorgon, Dark Rebellion, Tiger King, Rhapsody, got Cowboy, Dweller, Roach. I'm actually gonna put Roach to the side. 101, Corn, and Diamond Dyer. I mean, you really could interchange any of these guys. What I really want to stress is Stills from Roach. This card is really, 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 really good. Especially with a lot of decks starting to synchro and fusion summon through contact, via contact. Steel Storm Roach pretty much stopped that. If I remember correctly, the way that the TCG rules it, Steel Storm Roach can't stop Pendulum summons, which if it is true, then Cool Fort just kind of got a worse enemy inside of a 1900 attack monster that just says no to their whole Pendulum summon. I'm not 100% sure, but if I do remember correctly, it does stop Pendulum summons in the TCG. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I just think it's a really special card. If synchros ever do become a really big thing, I think Steel Storm Roach is amazing. Besides that, it's just a really good card. Thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe. There are no combos to the deck. I'm sorry, it's a stun deck. It's really not much else to say. Just play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's really basically about it. But most of all, guys, enjoy.